Look down at your plate of curry. Now imagine half of it is an immigrant, and the chili didn't even live here 500 years ago. So what is truly Indian? Stick around. Welcome to Curious Monkey.
Here's the strange truth. The dish in front of you is a time machine. Layered inside it are thousands of years of invasions, traders, and lucky accidents. Some ingredients are ancient, others snuck in disguised as tradition. Let's unwrap it.
The first kitchens. Before empires, before chili, what did India actually eat?
Travel back to India's oldest kitchens, and archaeologists believe you'd find no chili, no potato, no tomato. Instead, wheat and barley, sesame pressed for oil, clay pots over fire. Researchers have even recreated what may be the world's oldest known curry, but the spice was just getting started.
Then came the age of the Vedas, and here the kitchen turns almost sacred. Tradition tells us food leaned heavily on dairy, milk, yogurt, and golden ghee, while many cooks swore off onion and garlic, believing they stirred the wrong passions. Imagine a cuisine built around purity itself.
Now meet the real treasure of these kitchens: spice. Turmeric and ginger weren't just flavor. Ancient healers treated them as medicine. And one tiny black peppercorn became so precious it sailed all the way to Rome, reshaping an empire's economy. A single seed worth its weight in gold.
The Great Arrival. Now for the twist that breaks everything you think is Indian.
Here's where it gets wild. That fiery red chili, the soul of Indian cooking, is not Indian at all. Neither is the potato in your aloo, nor the tomato in your gravy. They were all born across the ocean, in the Americas.
After Columbus stumbled into the New World in 1492, a great swap began, the Columbian Exchange, carrying these crops into India for the very first time. So every authentic fiery curry your grandmother made? It's younger than you think. What if the most Indian flavor of all is actually a 500-year-old immigrant?
And the surprises keep coming. That crispy samosa? Its ancestors came riding in from Persia and Central Asia. Biryani, pulao, kebabs. Historians credit Turkic rulers with carrying them onto the subcontinent. Even the tandoor oven and the slow, dumb style of sealing a pot to trap its steam arrived with these travelers during the Delhi Sultanate.
Picture it. Cooks from distant deserts meeting India's vegetarian traditions, and from that collision something entirely new was born. The food felt Indian, but its passport told another story.
Empires in the pot. When kings sat down to eat, the cuisine transformed.
Enter the Mughals. And this is the golden age of Indian fine dining. Their roots traced back to Central Asia, which sparks a debate even now. Were they Central Asian, or had India made them its own?
By 1570, the Emperor Akbar's armies had locked down the heart of North India, and in his kitchens, Persian elegance melted into Indian spice. Slow-cooked biryanis, silky kormas swimming in cream and nuts, kebabs kissed by fire.
For centuries, from the 1500s onward, this royal fusion reshaped what a feast could be, turning dinner into theater and the cook into an artist.
Then a new power arrived, the British, and they changed Indian food in a way that's almost invisible today. That word you use for everything, curry, it's largely their invention, a tidy English label slapped onto 1,000 different dishes that never shared a name.
The British fell so hard for these flavors they carried them home, inventing hybrids like mulligatawny soup, a confused, delicious mistranslation of a South Indian pepper water. And here's the twist. The tea you think of as deeply Indian? The British planted that obsession too. Conquest, it turns out, travels through the stomach.
By the time India became free, its kitchen had swallowed the whole world and made it Indian. Think about the guest list that built this cuisine. Indo-Aryans, Greeks, Persians, Mughals, Portuguese, the French, the English, even echoes of Russian dishes. Each wave left a flavor behind, and now the current flows outward.
Walk into almost any major city on Earth and you'll find Indian food waiting. A quiet superpower, soft power you can taste. What began in clay pots now feeds the planet. But we haven't even reached the most jaw-dropping part.
2 Indias, 1 table. Cross the country and the food splits into rivals.
Now let's draw a line across the map because India isn't one cuisine. It's dozens at war for your plate. Go north where wheat is king. Here breads puff inside blazing tandoors, butter and cream thicken the gravies, and richness rules.
In Punjab, that means butter chicken glowing orange, and sarson da saag, a slow-simmered mustard green mopped up with cornbread. Push into the Rajasthani desert where water is scarce and ingenuity takes over. Dal baiti churma, hard wheat balls baked in sand-hot ovens, and gewar, a honeycombed sweet soaked in syrup. Geography, quite literally, wrote these recipes.
Now cross south and everything flips. Wheat surrenders to rice, dairy gives way to coconut, and a sour tang of tamarind threads through everything. Here, breakfast is a small miracle of science. Batter left to ferment overnight, then spread into a crackling dosa or steamed into a pillowy idli, served with sambar and fiery chutneys.
In Tamil Nadu, chettinad cooking turns up the heat until it roars. Drift to Kerala and coconut and curry leaves perfume fish curries and lace-thin appam. Karnataka stirs lentils, rice and spice into a single comforting pot of BC bell bath. 1 country, 2 completely different souls.
But the map keeps splintering. Swing east to Bengal where a prized hilsa fish swims in mustard, and dessert becomes an art. Sandesh and sweet yogurt called misti doai. On the western coast sits Goa, where Portuguese sailors left vindaloo, a dish whose very name hides a foreign accent.
Gujarat steams savory dokla. Maharashtra crams spicy potato into a bun and calls it vada pav. Andhra cooks with a heat that can bring tears. And in Bihar, liti choka roasts over open coals. Every border you cross, the rules change again.
Every state a world, and at the very top of India waits the ultimate feast.
So we end in the snow-capped north, in Kashmir, with a feast that sounds almost impossible. It's called wazwan, a ceremonial banquet that can stretch from 7 dishes to a staggering 36 course after course of slow-cooked mutton and chicken, prepared by master cooks for honored guests.
Doctors only half joke that it's a caloric bomb, so rich it isn't meant for everyday eating. And think about what that single feast contains. Persian technique, Central Asian meat craft, local mountain tradition, all simmered together over generations. That's the secret hiding in every Indian meal. Your plate isn't just food.
It's a map of every traveler, trader, and empire that ever passed through.
So next time you sit down to eat, remember, you're tasting thousands of years of history on a single plate. If this fed your curiosity, subscribe to Curious Monkey, and let's keep digging up the world, one bite at a time.